I think that we all struggle with our identity, regardless if we are queer, heterosexual, or any other human being that we are. We struggle because we are human beings that are constantly growing, and so sometimes some of us know who we are, and sometimes some of us have curiosities and love differently and have different challenges and pathways in life.
Basically what I did was I looked at services and organizations mainly in the Sacramento area, although I also went to San Francisco and looked at Community United Against Violence. Basically it was an assessment of the services that people, what was available in the Sacramento area for LGBTQ folks who either were survivors of violence or doing work to prevent violence. Sexual and domestic violence create the same kinds of stigma, and domestic violence happens at the same rates in relationships where people identify as LGBTQ, and so it also has the same, effect of putting people at risk. And sexual violence, if the person who is committing the sexual violence has HIV or another disease that can be transmitted through sexual activity, then the person who's being attacked is at risk for getting those things. Basically what I found was that the services in the Sacramento area were kind of lacking in a significant way. And I don't know, what the state is now. This is like 10 years ago, so things may have changed since then, I don't know.
I have seen it being compelled to move in a direction of forward thinking, if that makes sense. It has been transforming into a movement that really allows the queer community to regain strength in who they are, and it also has been giving space to break new ground.
I interviewed folks from GLSEN, which is Gay, Lesbian, and Straight Educators Network, and also California Rainbow Bridge, and they were basically doing education in for social service providers to let them know how to address the needs of LGBT folks. The idea was through education to better educate people how to support LGBT folks, and that kind of thing decreases violence. And GLSEN also had some programs to support students and address bullying in schools. I think there were some other places I interviewed people, but basically what I found was there was not much of anything, which is pretty typical. For the most part, only in pretty large cities are there anti-violence projects like KUAV and the New York Anti-Violence Project. And there's other ones scattered around the country. I think there's maybe 30 some different anti-violence type projects that are either standalone or part of other organizations. And some of them have very limited services, and some of them are much more comprehensive. Some of them are focused only on providing services to people who are dealing with getting out of a violent situation. Others are doing only prevention work, so it's really scattered. There's no sort of systemic thing.
What I suggest for youth who are finding their way and becoming in this world is to really ask questions to other lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgendered, intersex questioning people. I want people to hear other experiences. So when I began to question myself, I began to ask questions, and it really allowed me to gain new awareness about myself and about the people around me. And so that is my one suggestion, if I had one to give, to really question where you're at, who you are, and to ask for guidance and from people you look up to. Read Audre Lorde, read Shedi Moraga, read about Milk Harvey, read about the pioneers who really challenged the system or just were not afraid to be themselves. And read and inform yourself locally about what's going on in the world with these type of communities that we're in. There's still hate crimes that are going around, but there's still a lot of love and a lot of creativity and new empowerment that's coming in owning our identities as two-spirited, questioning individuals